Well, well. Hey, let me get a sip of tea. Hello, everyone. Hello, Internet. This is your guy, Charles Austin, the Human Diet Coach, coming to you live here on a wonderful Friday afternoon. And I'm here, as always, giving you the healthiest, most helpful tips to ensure that you have longevity and the longest, happiest, healthy life as possible. One of the things I love to say is be happy, be healthy, and be fit forever. Of course, that is until we die, because everybody dies. But while you're alive, you might as well be living your best self and living your healthiest self. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter X at Human Diet Coach. So normally I do a stream every Thursday, my Thriving Thursday streams at 7 p.m. Central Time. I didn't get to do one this yesterday or last week. My Thursdays have been terrible. But guess what? Here I am on a Friday just because I had a thought. And I said, why not put it on film and camera? So I wish, I don't think you can actually, I don't know if you can. I'm going to find out live with y'all. But the whole, and look, still there. Still got peanut butter in my hair. I got peanut butter in my hair earlier and I was trying to clean it out. And it's still there a little bit. So anybody who has locks or long hair for that matter, I'm sure at some point you got food in your hair and you're like, yo, get out of my hair. But anywho, I was having such a wonderful conversation, if you want to call it that, because on social media you can't necessarily have conversations. Basically, let me see if I can read the post. I don't know. I don't think you can like sign into threads on desktop. Can you? Oh, you can? Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up. Because if you can sign into threads, it'd be easier for me to show you versus me to tell you. But anyway, if you saw the thumbnail or if you looked at the title of the video, if you looked at the title of the video, you would notice, there it is. I was looking for my password. You would notice that it says something along the lines of diet over doctors. And then I said, I'm not crazy because I've been thinking that I'm crazy. I've been thinking I'm the crazy person. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. As I do this, I've been thinking I'm the crazy person. You gonna tell me my password is incorrect? I know I typed it in right. Incorrect password? Man, look. Anyway, I'll worry about that some other time. I don't know why it's telling me my password is incorrect. I'm literally looking at it. But I don't think I have another one. It should be my Instagram. Anyway, point is, I'll just pull it up on my phone. That's weird that it's telling me that is wrong. Continue. Yeah. So all of my stuff is saying my password is wrong. Anyway, I don't know what this thing is doing. It's being stupid. It's already saved. Anyway, we'll worry about that later. So I'll pull it up on my phone. And so I go on here and all I say, what do I say? I said, so serious question. This is the post. I don't know if you can can't really see that because of the AI on the camera. But anyway, serious questions. If doctors were so good at healing, why is there so much sickness? Okay, the answer is they use drugs to treat symptoms instead of lifestyle changes to fix the problem. The crazy thing is that food is actually real medicine for a body already designed to self-heal. You just have to feed it properly. You just have to feed it properly. You just have to feed it properly. That's it. So if you feed the body properly, it will naturally heal itself and cleanse itself. That's the statement. And, we get detractors on here making comments to the contrary, talking about how great doctors are, yada, yada. Now, look, I am not here to denigrate doctors or anything like that. I literally went to the doctor like 3 days ago. Now, I went to the doctor 3 days ago because I was doing my annual checkup where you get them to listen to your heart and lungs and stuff and make you say and all that stuff, look in your ears, your eyes, check your abdomen, stuff like that, right? So it's good to go to doctors to see if there's anything wrong. That's what they do. If you think about this, you generally are going to go to the doctor when something's wrong. But I can use a couple of examples to make this more clear, right? And what I'm going to do is so like I'll use this to explain this. But for example, the only time you're going to go to the doctor is when you actually have something wrong. Okay, most people don't even do their regular checkups. I'm trying to get comfortable with my chair, y'all. Sorry I'm moving so much. But most people don't go to the doctor until something's wrong. You go to the doctor when you have sniffles. If you say, "Oh, my sore throat," if you fall out of a tree or something and you break your arm, you're going to go to the doctor, etc. Right? These are all reasons why you would go to the doctor. This is the same as what's another good example of people you don't see until there's a problem, right? Like a plumber. Like nobody really has the plumber come to their house regularly per se to see if something's wrong. You literally call the plumber when something's wrong. Now I know there's preventative maintenance and things that we can do, but the whole general idea here is when something's wrong is when you go see this person. Another great example is like police. Police don't prevent crime, right? Bold statement, I know, even though like one of their main mottos is like protect and serve and stuff, but like police don't prevent crime. You only call the police when there's a problem or when the crime, like after the crime has happened or once the crime has started or something like that. That's when people call the police. So they don't prevent crime. They try to fix the crime, or they assess the crime, or they try to stop the crime, or they try to find the person who actually did the crime. They don't prevent it. So my point is, you can look at the doctor as the same way. Like nobody goes to the doctor until something's wrong. So, like for example, the primary role, and the crazy thing is, I was having another social media conversation just the other day about using AI. And basically what I did was I typed in a question about dietary practices, right? And it was about whether or not eating a bunch of plants is actually better for your long-term health versus eating, a bunch of like meat and dairy and stuff like that. And so the AI, when I asked those questions, the AI basically said, yes, research has shown that people who primarily eat plants generally have less health problems and live longer. And it said people who eat more of the meat and dairy stuff have more problems and live shorter. And so what they attempted to do was they attempted to attack the fact that I use AI to create a summary. They said, well, you can't use AI summaries to base your argument or use for your argument because they make mistakes. Everybody knows AI makes mistakes. But what I was arguing is the fact that AI can only pull from data that already exists. Like AI can't create its own data. Data comes from the humans that input it into the systems, and the AI will pull from that. So if plants, for example, there's no way you're going to be able to tell the AI. Like, let's real quick, right? Watch this. Blueberries are bad for health, right? Okay, let's see what happens. Whoa, hidden dangers of darks. This is great. I love when I get stuff that I didn't expect live. Okay, now I got to investigate. The dark side of blueberry. Let's see what this is talking about. Blueberries are often touted as a superfood packed with antioxidants, fiber, and vitamins that can provide a multitude of health benefits. However, like many things, so what they're going to talk about probably is like if you overdose or something like this. Too much is a good thing. Blueberries have become a side effects. Lesser known digestive. Okay, so bloating. Bloating. Okay. So they're let me run through these real quick. Yo. Okay. All right. Cool. This is great. So look at how misleading this is. Look at how misleading this is. The name of the article is "The Dark Side of Blueberries: Uncovering the Hidden Dangers," and the stuff that they're saying is dangerous about is bloating. Everybody has bloating from time to time. Like, you're gonna have bloating. Sometimes you're gonna eat a mixture of foods that's gonna create a little extra gas, and you're gonna have bloating. So what? Allergic. Now, how is that a negative side effect? If you know you're allergic to blueberries, don't eat blueberries. Don't make an article talking about the danger, the unknown side effects of blueberries and say allergies. Because if you know you're allergic to bees, you try not to get stung by bees. If you know you're allergic to peanuts, you don't eat peanuts, etc., right? So now they're talking about interactions with medications. Okay, well, if you know there are certain things you shouldn't take with blueberries, then don't do it. The dark side of blueberry farming. Okay, really? Water pollution. Oh my gosh. Blueberry farming can contribute to water pollution through the use of don't use pesticides, fertilizers, or improper irrigation systems. This is simple. Labor exploitations. Really? Does that have anything to do with the effect on the body? The sugar content of blueberries, a sweet deception. Blueberries are a healthy snack, right? They say 11 grams of sugar. Where are they going to talk about how much fiber are in blueberries? But they don't mention that. They're going to talk about excessive sugar consumption has been linked with health problems, including obesity, type 2 diabetes, and tooth decay. Nobody is getting tooth decay from eating blueberries. Anyway, so this is off of where I was trying to go here. I'm trying to find an AI summary. All right, let's see if we can. Let's see what this says. Okay, there we go. Now, here's an AI summary. Blueberries are generally very healthy, but excessive consumption or certain medical conditions can cause side effects. Duh. That is true for every food that exists on planet Earth. My goal is I'm trying to figure out a way to get AI to tell you that you shouldn't eat blueberries. All right. Oops, spelled that wrong. Let's see. All right, so again, we're talking about the same stuff over and over again. Let's see. Let's try this. Okay, it's the same thing right there again. My only point, folks, is that the AI can only pull from data. Okay? And so bad things about blueberries. Well, blueberries are nutritious, excessive consumption, or improper handling. So again, no matter how you frame the question, it's hard to make blueberries appear bad based on the data that's been pulled. So the point is, when you pull things from AI, it can only pull from data that already exists. You can't make it up. And the point is that blueberries are generally accepted as healthy unless you use them improperly. That's anything That's any kind of food. So back to the original argument. We were talking about Back to the original conversation. We were talking about the fact that doctors don't necessarily prevent any health conditions. Okay, so as we see, when you look at the summary that's been pulled from AI, and you say, okay, what's the primary role of a medical doctor? Okay, medical doctors play a crucial role in diagnosing, treating, and managing patients' health while collaborating with healthcare teams and educating patients. Okay, great. That sounds like the most part what they do. This is the key thing that they do. They diagnose, because when you go to the doctor, you're trying to figure out what's wrong with you. You say, ow, my tummy hurts. Doctor, tell me what's wrong. Oh, my throat hurts. Doctor, tell me what's going on, etc. Right? Treating, that's another thing. And so what we don't want to do is confuse treating with curing. Okay, we don't want to confuse those two things. Treating is like the Band-Aid. You cut yourself, you rinse it out with water, and you put a Band-Aid on it. So that's what we're talking about with treating. And it says managing patients' health. Managing is keeping you on medication. Okay, so the medication keeps you alive while it slowly kills you. So you want to make sure that you focus on prevention. Okay, and doctors don't focus on prevention. Let's see, what amount of medical school curriculum? Let's see, curriculum is nutrition. Let's see. The amount of nutrition in medical school varies. A survey, only 8%. So again, like, the AI created this, but look, the source is right there. So people want to say, oh, it's the AI, but it's the sources right here. This is from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. But anyway, the amount of nutrition in education and medical school curriculum varies significantly. A 2023 survey indicated that 7.8% of medical students reported receiving 20 or more hours of nutrition education throughout their entire medical school experience. Entire medical school experience. This is far below the 1985 goal set by the U.S. Committee on Nutrition and Medical Education, which recommended so they said they recommended 25 hours, but most people get 25 hours ain't enough. Okay, so the point is, doctors don't go to school, medical school, to learn about nutrition. They just don't. This is why you can get that fraud doctor. What's his name? They call him Doctor Now on 600 Pound Life, and he's out here prescribing diets that promote obesity while he's cutting into your stomach. And so the purpose of this video is to highlight the fact that doctors are designed to make sure that if something's wrong, they figure out what it is. So let's say, for example, and again, I'm just doing this live with y'all. How is hypertension? We're gonna keep a simple one. How is hypertension diagnosed? Okay, let's go with hypertension, which of course is high blood pressure. So hypertension is diagnosed through a series of blood pressure measurements and evaluations, typically requiring two or more readings taken on separate occasions. So if you, what's going on? Where is my where is it? Oh, there we go. So 2 or more occasions. So you go to the doctor, and let's say you get a blood pressure reading of 140 over 90, and then they do it again. It's 144 over 92 or whatever. Then they do it again. It's 147 over 93 or whatever. I don't know. And they say, okay, you're diagnosed hypertension. You come back 6 months later, you still got high blood pressure, it's still elevated. You come back a year later, still at this point you have hypertension. So you go to the doctor or the clinic, right, to get diagnosed. You try to figure out, you say, oh, I haven't been feeling well. Let me go get checked up. And then they say, oh, by the way, your blood pressure is high. Thank you. That's important. That's important for you to figure out that you have high blood pressure. That's very important. Now I got to go back here. Now, again, we already said, let me keep this page open. Okay. And yeah, we want to keep this page open because I'm going to need both of these. Let's see. I'm gonna need this one. I'm gonna need this one. All right. So again, remember the primary role of a medical doctor is to diagnose and treat and manage. Okay, diagnose, treat, and manage. Okay, again, the primary goal is to diagnose, treat, and manage. There it is right there. Diagnose, treat, and manage. Okay, so let's say again that you're trying to figure out what's wrong. You go to the doctor, and they diagnose you. That's part of their job. They diagnose you with hypertension. Now, what's the next thing that they're responsible for? The next thing that they're responsible for is treating. Okay, now let's look at how doctors treat hypertension. Do doctors generally treat hypertension? Check my phone here. Just 1 second. Okay. Awesome. So, doctors generally treat hypertension through lifestyle changes and medication. Now, let's lay this thing out real quick, okay? Now, this should be the primary lifestyle. I hate when it does that. Lifestyle should be number one. And unless we're talking about severe, life-threatening, immediate danger of death, blood pressure problems, it should be the only solution, okay? Now, it says this includes adopting a healthy diet like DASH diet. Now, let's see, what is the DASH diet? I don't even know what that is. I've heard of it, but I've never, okay, what is the DASH diet? Discover how DASH can help lower your blood pressure. DASH, let's see. DASH diet is a healthy eating plan, help prevent, treat, rich in minerals, potassium, calcium. Believe it or not, too much calcium can be bad for your heart, because that contributes to plaque. So you got to watch that. Now, here's the crazy part that I got to explain about why you got to be careful about listening to your doctor. You need to be focused on your diet, not your doctor. Your doctor, again, what amount of medical school curriculum is nutrition? Well, not a lot. 20 hours. Okay. So again, look at this this is March 5th, 2026. You can see it right there. Medical schools agreed to expand their nutrition curriculum this fall. They don't have a lot of nutrition training. Okay. What does this one say? American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. I'm curious. I know it's hard for me to stay on one point sometimes. Get out of here. Get out of here. Always reject, y'all. Always reject as much as you can. Look. Now, look at the result. Now, the objective, this is the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. And the objective was to determine the amount and type of nutrition instruction in U.S. medical schools, especially including the instruction that occurs outside of designated nutrition courses. The conclusion, or the results, it said 99 of the 106 schools responded required some form of nutrition education. Now, we don't know what that means, some form. That just means they might have talked about macromolecules or something like that. But are we talking about specifics behind which types of foods promote cancer, which types of foods promote vasoconstriction, which types of foods promote atherosclerosis and things like that? Are we talking about those things? Some form of nutrition education. So I'm not going to say here that they don't get anything, but it's not enough if you're going to be calling yourself somebody who is all about health. You're more about diagnosing problems, not about health per se. It says, however, only 32 schools, which is 30%, required a separate nutrition course. So only 30% even said, go get more training. Okay. On average, students receive 23 hours of nutrition instruction. That's not enough to be telling people how to save their life. That's not enough. That's not enough. 23 hours, that's not enough. That's a day. That means that for they train for one day. Listen to what we're telling. Listen to what I'm reading in front of you right now, and stop. Listen to what I'm saying. The doctors are getting 23 hours of nutrition instruction during medical school. They didn't say each day in medical school. They said during medical school. Only 40 schools require a minimum of 25 hours. And most instructors express the need, look at this, the need for additional instruction. So what is the overall summary? And I'm making this post because I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. Because you'll get people who think they know what they're talking about, but they don't do the research. You come to this channel, we're going to get the research all the time. You come to this channel here, this channel is about research data. Okay? Factual information. I'm not going to tell you anything that hasn't been based in data. Hasn't been based in research, hasn't been based in logic and science. So again, my overall point here is that the doctors do not get enough nutritional education. Okay, they don't get enough. So again, back to the example, you get diagnosed with hypertension. How do doctors treat hypertension? Well, they say, oh, the thing we're going to be focused on when we're giving you diet recommendations is the DASH diet. Well, what is the DASH diet? Okay, well, the DASH diet says that they include dairy products, poultry, and even fish is sometimes okay. But poultry and dairy are not good for your heart. Okay, and if you don't know what poultry is, obviously poultry is like the flying stuff you eat, chicken and turkey and stuff like that. That's poultry. And in order to show you more data about what I'm talking about, and we talk about this is not good for preventing hypertension. You know, let me show you something. Let me pull this up. So let me pull this up. Let me pull this up if I can find it. I'm looking for a file, everybody, because again, I take my time on these streams sometimes because I look for files that have data, because I'm not going to make a statement and then not back it up with data. All right. So what I want to do real quick is I'm going to pull up just one little, let's see. Where is it? I'm trying to find, there we go. All right, here we go. So I wanted to pull an excerpt from my book that is still in process. If you've never written a book before, and this is my third time writing a book, and this one has taken the longest to finish. If you've never written a book before, there's lots of things that go into it, especially when you're writing a science-based book. You got to make sure it's based in actual data. So I'm trying to put this on the screen so I can show y'all real quick. All right. It's acting really stupid. I apologize. I don't like to have long pauses. But I'll just read it. It's acting weird. So one of the parts in my book, I say, not coincidentally, chicken is also great at raising cholesterol, contrary to belief. Because we were talking about the fact that we're talking about the fact that part of if we go back here real quick, if you get diagnosed with hypertension, one of the things that doctors are going to tell you is to follow the DASH diet. But one of the things they recommend is poultry and dairy. Right? You can see it right here. So as I'm reading, chicken, which is a type of poultry, chicken flesh raises cholesterol levels at nearly at nearly the same amount as red meat. So people think that they always talk about red meat being the best, and it is. Red meat is trash. But chicken raises cholesterol levels at nearly the same amount, even though white meat like chicken is generally lower than red meat in saturated fat. It still contains saturated fat like all animal flesh. When consumed, this unhealthy fat stimulates the body to produce cholesterol. One health consequence of this is, increased raised cholesterol. So as you should know, or if you don't know, high cholesterol is bad for your heart. A bad heart means you could have high bad blood pressure. So my only point is bringing that up, and the crazy thing is what I got to do is, instead of just reading it, where's my source for that? Because everything in here I source. This one right here. Anyway, it's acting. I'm trying to find this. Oh, because I have the wrong file open. Yikes. So if I open it up here, give me a second, y'all. You know, just patience. It's a live video. It's a live video. All right, where is it at? There we go. All righty, I'm almost there, y'all. I'm almost there. All right, let's see if I can get it. That took way longer than I thought it would. All right, here we go. So this is one of the sources that I use. One of. Just keep in mind, one of. This is the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, and they're talking about chicken is not a healthy choice. And then if you read the article and go down to the bottom, you can see all the references, right? So again, I'm showing you real time. Look at the references. We got the Nutrition Cancer Journal, Cancer Research Journal, what is this? Molecules Journal. One Health Journal. These are peer reviewed. The British Medical Microbiology Journal, etc. So these are some of the references that they use to make this specific report. So here it is right here. Chicken also raises cholesterol levels as much as red meat. Researchers tested the effect of low saturated fat diets that drew their protein from red meat, beef and pork, white meat, chicken and turkey, or non-meat sources. It turned out that both white meat and red meat raise LDL cholesterol compared with plant-based proteins. So right off the bat, if you're a doctor and you're telling somebody with high blood pressure that they should be eating, if you're telling somebody with high blood pressure and you're a doctor, they have high blood pressure, and you're saying go eat the DASH diet, then you're telling them incorrect information. Because all you have to do is go to the Physicians Committee on responsible medicine. Look, responsible medicine. Not just medicine. We said responsible medicine. So that's the thing. Didn't y'all listen to Spider-Man, Uncle Ben? What did Uncle Ben say? Uncle Ben said that with great power comes great responsibility. So we're talking about being responsible. So if you're a doctor and you're telling somebody, hey, follow the DASH diet to help with your high blood pressure, which includes poultry, but it increases your bad cholesterol. And the more cholesterol you have flowing through your blood, the less likely your heart is to perform properly, and then that's going to increase your blood pressure. All right. So what else do they do if they're treating hypertension. So remember, we're going back to the fact that the primary role of doctors is to diagnose, treat, and manage. They don't prevent, they don't heal per se. Not in this aspect. And keep in mind, the context of this conversation is on internal microbiome, metabolic health, blood health. We're talking about chronic disease, things like heart disease, cancer, diabetes, things like that. I'm not talking about a broken bone. Okay. They diagnose, treat, and manage health conditions. Well, the other thing, this is what they primarily do right here. Now, the second one on the list, medications. So you go to the doctor with high blood pressure, they're going to give you medications. Now, if they're treating something like hypertension, ACE inhibitors are one of the most common type of treatment for high blood pressure. Now, again, this is something that I cover in my book also, but we're just going to look it up live because it took me too long to find the source that I used last time. But ACE inhibitor side effects. Okay. All right. Now, some of these are, and before somebody says, you pulled up an AI summary, well, here's the sources. This is what you don't understand. You got to understand about AI. It's like people are trying to tell you not to use AI, but they don't understand how AI works. We understand AI makes mistakes. We understand, but here's the sources. Is Mayo Clinic the AI? I don't know if AI is Mayo Clinic, but anyway, let's just use this so we don't use the summary. Well, here's some of those side effects that we see in the summary. So all AI did is pull from the data. So some of these side effects are mild cough, dizziness, but kidney damage, not a good one. Not a good one. Angioedema. What is that? I'm curious. What is angioedema? Edema is swelling. Angio. That sounds like heart swelling or something like that. This is me, y'all. We're always going to figure out what it is. It's the problem with today. Nobody wants to do any of the research. They make comments and swelling beneath the skin. Okay? Because I'm not a doctor. Never claimed to be. Don't want to be. So I don't know all these terms that they got. Swelling beneath the skin. Okay. Often occurring in response to allergies, drug side effects, or other triggers, right? So the point is you can have kidney problems or skin swelling. But watch this, all right? So that's one of the most common ways they're going to treat is ACE inhibitors. How about beta blockers? Let's do beta blockers real quick. That's another common one. Beta blocker side effects. Heart block, difficulty breathing, abrupt withdrawal, slower heart rate, because they literally are trying to chill your heart out a little bit. But anyway, again, look at this. Some people may also experience sexual dysfunction, sleep disturbances, gaining weight. Why would I want to gain weight if I have high blood pressure? The more weight I gain, the more risk I am at high blood pressure. Now, so again, all I'm doing is look at this. Again, difficulty breathing, severe bradycardia. That's low blood pressure, low heart rate type stuff. So long-term side effects. Oh my gosh. Cognitive changes. I didn't even know this. Long-term side effects can be cognitive changes, depression, insomnia. This is all from a pill that your doctor, who's supposed to be managing your health, a drug made in a lab that the doctor decided to give you for your hypertension. So let's do this real quick. So we got to keep the DASH diet up there. But real quick, if you look at this and you say, all right, foods that lower blood pressure. All right. Now, if you just look at the original image, plant, 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 plant. Oh, not a plant. And it will always, every time I do a video on salmon with salmon popping up, I'll let you know what it is. Plant, 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 plant. This is oats, not dairy milk, strawberries, papaya, plant, 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 plant. What? This is why you have to fact check. Okay. Hopefully everybody's noticing a theme. Plant, 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 plant. Oh, that's not a plant. My point is, you can look at this list and literally every food on here is a plant. Now, dairy should not be on here. Dairy should not be on here because dairy is pro-inflammation, pro-fat, pro-high sugar, this is not necessarily related to blood pressure, but pro-cancer. So just the fact that it's pro-cancer, you should avoid it. The thing about using salmon is they normally tout it as an omega-3 source, but you can get the same. Now, the way salmon gets omega-3 is by eating fish that eat algae. So all you got to do is eat algae. You don't need to kill the fish. But anywho, my point is, these are the things that don't have side effects. Nobody's dying from carrots. Nobody's dying from spinach. Nobody's dying from lentils. Nobody's getting a side effect of sexual dysfunction because they eat lentils. Nobody's out here saying, oh no, my, what did they say? Oh, I took it down, the side effects. But they're not getting serious side effects. So what's my point? My point is the doctor is treating, they're treating hypertension with medication and a diet that includes things. So the medication gives you side effects. So now you're going to need pills to fix those side effects. But then also they're going to prescribe a diet that includes things that promote hypertension. This is the reason. This is the cause of this is because they don't get enough nutritional training. The other cause is they get paid to prescribe you medication. So while they're managing your health, they're keeping you just sick enough to keep getting their pills. When in actuality, all you would have to do is eat the foods that lower blood pressure. Let's see what this query. So again, I'm not crazy. I just started making a video because today I went to go get my annual blood labs at a clinic. Which again, these are reasons to use doctors. I'm not saying to get rid of them or banish them. I'm saying you can't look at them and say that, well, I have diabetes, I need to go to my doctor. No, you don't. That's the wrong place to go. The wrong place to go when you have diabetes is to the doctor. Bold claim, I realize. Bold statement, I realize that. But that's not the place you want to go. You want to go to make sure you know what your numbers are, which is why you get your blood labs done. And they can explain them to you if you don't understand them. But after that, now we got to fix the problem. The problem is our blood sugar is too high, right? Let's do that one real quick. How is type 2 diabetes diagnosed? Type 2 diabetes is diagnosed through several blood tests. Like I was just saying, you want to make sure you get your blood drawn to figure out what your blood glucose levels is, including A1C, fasting tests, etc., etc., etc. Now, that's when you go to the doctor. You go there to figure out what is going on with your body. Okay? All right. How do doctors generally treat type 2 diabetes? So it's probably going to be the same thing. They're going to say lifestyle changes and various medications. The crazy thing is you just need the lifestyle changes. You don't need the medication. The medication is causing more problems. You don't need the medication. You just need, look, a healthy diet in whole grains, fruits, vegetables and lean proteins are crucial. Now, contrary to belief, once again, most people will focus on saying carbs are bad. Don't eat carbs. Do you realize that if you eat a blueberry, it has carbs. If you eat a carrot, it has carbs. If you eat spinach, it has carbs. Okay? The difference, and I did a video on this once. I'm gonna find that video. Let's find that video. Let's go back. Let's find that video. Where's the video that I made on the truth about carbs? Let's find it. And by the way, this is a great time for me to mention the fact that there's so much content on this channel to help everybody stay out of chronic disease, to where nobody should be getting. There's enough. I'm trying to find the one where I talk about the truth about carbs. Okay, so these are some of my older ones. Let's see. There we go. I knew I had it. Look at my hair. Look at my hair. Streamed 3 years ago. All right, let me turn the let's see what I'm talking about on this one. I'm gonna turn the desktop audio on. I'm gonna turn. Let's see. All right, we're gonna do something here, real quick. All right. Oh no, we don't want that just yet. Hold on. All right, the microphone is gonna go dark. All right, hey, what's going on? Charles Austin here, and also Beans, a bunch of it, right? So let's go ahead and get started by actually breaking down what carbohydrates are. Okay, so again, you've probably heard, carbohydrates referred to as carbs always, right? Well, the true thing about carbohydrates is they're basically a type of macronutrient, and anytime you hear the word macronutrient, we just mean we need a bunch of it, right? So you'll also see fats, you'll also see proteins as well as macronutrients, all right? So it's found in many foods and beverages. The vast majority of carbohydrates Sorry about that. So all I want to do is pull up this part where I'm basically explaining the fact that carbohydrates are found in many foods and beverages. And look at some of the common sources: fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, seeds, beans, peas, lentils, etc. So I'm not going to play this whole video, but watch the video if you want to learn about the difference between carbohydrates. Watch the video. I mean, I wonder where the part is where I talk about the difference between. So now I'm talking about why do we need carbohydrates. I wonder if we can get to the part to where we figure out. And so I talk about how they strip. This part is where I talk about how they strip parts off of wheat or corn and things like that to make it taste better, etc. But then it's worse for you. You don't eat the whole part of it. But anyway, I would encourage you to check this video out. Because now we're talking about refined carbs, which are considered simple carbohydrates, versus complex carbohydrates, which you get in whole grains and fruits and vegetables and things like that. So all I'm saying is, folks, if you have an issue with your body, what were we talking about? We're talking about how they treat, how the doctors treat. They're going to do it through lifestyle, but then they're also going to give you medication, right? So what are some of the more common medications? There you go. Let's do this real quick, and it's time to get off this stream. I've been here too long. 49 minutes. Wow. I hadn't done a video like this long in a while. All right, but let's do metformin. All right. Metformin side effects. And then we're going to do like carrot side effects. Hypoglycemia, gastrointestinal issues, metallic taste, low B12, fatigue, etc. Flatulence, you might have some gas, diarrhea, vomiting, etc. So we could do this all day. Every single last one of these drugs is going to have a side effect. And see, here we go, GLP-1. That's the damn Ozempic stuff that's been so common. Y'all better stay off that stuff. GLP-1 side effects. GLP-1. That's all the Ozempic. GLP. GI problems, pancreatitis. That's the one that you should always want to avoid, pancreatitis. You need a pancreas. Without a functioning pancreas, you're going to die. It's very simple. Fatigue. Like I said, gallbladder issues, kidney injury, cell tumors. Why the heck would I take a medication? Why in the world would I take a medication that has the possibility to give me cell tumors? I don't care. People say, well, did you read all? Yeah, warning exists based on animal studies. Human data have not confirmed the increased risk, but put patients with a history of medullary thyroid carcinoma or MEN2 should avoid these drugs. Okay, great. I don't care. I'm not taking anything that has the possibility of giving me cancer. Why would I do that? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Long-term considerations. Long term. So everything about GLP-1s are short term. Oh, I lost this weight, my blood sugar. You can see all the people that's actors and celebrities, fake celebrities and all this stuff that's out here. Look at their bodies. They look weird when they be on this Ozempic to lose weight when all they have to do is go to the gym and eat better food, but they're lazy. And so therefore they go and they get a GLP-1. Look at some of the issues long term. Loss of lean muscle mass. That's not good. Bone mineral density. That's not good. Gallbladder events, that's not good. Your gallbladder helps process fat. You need your gallbladder. No consistent evidence of increased depression, anxiety, or thyroid cancer in humans, though monitoring is advised. Why are you even talking about depression, anxiety, and thyroid cancer if it ain't a risk? Why is it even on there? You shouldn't even be on there. Anyway, all I'm saying is the doctor is not going to be the one that you're going to go to get rid of a chronic illness. They're going to keep you on medication when all you should be doing is focusing on your diet and exercise. Now, again, folks, this is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Make sure you always consult a physician before making dietary changes. Okay, I said that disclaimer. I am not a doctor, so I can't tell you what to do other than I can tell you what to do if you want to. And that's up to you if you want to listen to what I got to say. I'm not telling you you have to do anything. This is just suggestion per se. All I'm doing is reading data that says, hey, by the way, if you take these medications, these are the things that you're probably going to see. I know they say potential side effects, and I'm sure there's somebody out there that says, I've been on this medication and I haven't experienced any of these side effects. Okay, great. Happy for you. But you got to realize you're introducing your body to a foreign chemical that's made by man, and your body doesn't necessarily know how to process it. And just because you haven't noticed a side effect today, don't mean you won't experience one later on. That's the point I'm trying to make. That is it. That is the point. That is the point. Very simple. Now, let's see what are the side effects from eating carrots real quick. Every time we do this, it talks about excessive consumption. And that is because if you overload your body with anything that's too much, your body's going to have a hard time processing. You're not supposed to go get a bottle of B12 supplements and take the whole bottle. You're not supposed to do that. So that's excessive. Every time we get to this, it's always about excessive consumption. The point is, these things don't have side effects. They're foods that your body is asking you to eat anyway. You're supposed to eat blueberries. All this stuff that's in the picture behind me, there's nothing on this list that you're not supposed to eat outside of an allergy. What do we have over here? What do we have over here? We got a blackberry. Then we have blueberries. I don't know if this is a potato or onion right there. We have, that looks like a pineapple. This looks like a cucumber. Then we have a jalapeno. Then we have kiwi. Then we have a green apple. That looks like a mango. That looks like a lemon. We got banana over here. Orange bell pepper. This looks like a tomato maybe. What else we got behind there? Is that a grapefruit maybe? I love grapefruit. I don't know what that is. right there. Another apple. We got another tomato. Oh, that's a grapefruit for sure right there. Then we got like some chili peppers right here. Not sure what that is. The point is, everything that's above me on this image, you're supposed to eat. And see, watch this. I'm just playing around now, and I'm about to get off this thing. I've been on here too long. Let's do another background. Bing. Hey, look, now we got avocado and green beans. Okay? Let's do another background. Oh my gosh. It look like we got some eggplant down here. Where is it at? Some eggplant. Ah, there we go. Look like we got some cabbage. Look like we got some strawberry. Look like we got some radish, pomegranate. We got some potatoes and ginger, look like up there. Shall we do another one? Oh no, now we have almonds and look at these. What are these? Mung beans right here. Look like lima beans back here. Look like we have some lentils. Maybe this is some chia. Is this seed? Some type of chia seed or something? I don't know. I can't tell. All right. Should we do another one? Oh no, we got some pecans, etc., etc. These are all foods that you're supposed to eat. That you're supposed to eat. Ooh, this one actually is the cleanest image for my AI tracking. Yeah. You got all these foods that you're supposed to eat that is not going to have side effects unless you use them improperly, which all you got to do is eat regular serving sizes. Okay, so again, I'm not crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. I've been on here for 56 minutes. Oh my goodness, that's a long time to be on here. Let's do a summary. Let's do a summary real quick. Let's do a summary. Let's do a summary. No, I don't want you to do that. No, don't do that. I did the wrong thing. No. It's tripping. Anyway, the summary, y'all, is simple. You need to focus on your diet to make sure that you prevent long-term chronic disease. If you want to prevent and avoid heart disease, cancer, diabetes, high cholesterol, obesity, things like this, you need to focus on your diet over your doctor. Your doctor is going to want to make sure that they give you medication and pills so that they get more money, and that you keep coming back to them. If my theory or my mentality here or my thought process is incorrect, then heart disease and cancer wouldn't be the number one and two cause of death. But it wouldn't be. They just wouldn't be, because those are internal problems, and the only way for those things to develop, or most of the time the way for those things to develop, is problems that you with what you put into your body. So when you have a problem, if your arm falls off, go to the doctor. If you've had a headache for a week, go to the doctor to figure out what's wrong. But when you figure out what's wrong, then it's up to you to figure out the best way to fix that problem. If the problem can be fixed without pills, you should fix it. But if you need surgery, sometimes people do need surgery, you should go to a surgeon. But most of the problems that's wrong with people today don't require surgery, don't require medication. They simply require you to put better things into your body so that your body can heal itself naturally. Believe it or not, your body is literally designed to heal itself. All you have to do is feed it the right stuff. Anyway, you can catch me every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time, where we'll go over this topic and many others, these types of topics and many others. And my only goal on this channel is to educate people to figure out the best way to take care of their long-term health without the need for invasive procedures, surgeries, and pharmaceutical drugs. Don't make the doctors richer, make yourself richer in health. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter X at humandietcoach. And make sure if you enjoyed this content, if you like this video, please like it. Actually hit the thumbs up. Share the video out so other people can get the content. Turn your notifications on so that you're up to date with the latest content.